Man, God is good. God is good.
Take a close look. Michael B. Jordan stands there, eyes glossy, hand locked around his first Oscar like it might slip away. The crowd is yelling his name, calling him Hollywood's new king, like he's reached the absolute top. But something feels off. Backstage, Will Smith watches in silence, seeing something nobody else does. In this game, that gold statue isn't always a prize. It can be a curse. Will paid for it with his name and his career, and now Michael's holding that same weight. Is he next in line or just next to fall? March 10th, 2026, Dolby Theater, Los Angeles. The biggest stage, the brightest lights, over 3,000 elites in the room, and millions watching worldwide. This was supposed to be history in the making. Then it happened. And the Oscar goes to... The room froze.
Michael B. Jordan.
This is the first Oscar win and nomination for Michael B. Jordan.
Applause hit like a storm, cameras flashing everywhere, legends on their feet, all eyes locked on him in that wild moment. No one stayed seated, not a single person. This wasn't some debated win or awkward moment. This was clear, earned, undeniable victory. Michael B. Jordan didn't jump up right away, though. That short walk to the stage carried over 20 years of grind, setbacks, and pressure. And make no mistake, the competition was serious. Leonardo DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, Ethan Hawke, any of them could have taken it. But that night, they all stood and clapped because what Michael did in Sinners hit different. The role was complex, emotional, explosive, and he didn't just play it, he became it. Then things got even deeper. Michael didn't stop at family thanks. He started naming legends.
Because of the people that came before me, Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, Forrest Whitaker, Will Smith, and to be amongst those giants, amongst those greats, amongst my ancestors, amongst my guys. Thank you, everybody in this room and everybody at home for supporting me over my career. I feel it.
Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, Forrest Whitaker, and Will Smith. Each name carried weight, like stepping stones that got him there. He made it clear, this wasn't just his win, it was built on those who fought to even have a place in that room. In that moment, he wasn't just Michael anymore. He was representing a whole legacy. The clip of his speech exploded everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, no escape. Every feed showed Michael on that stage, gold statue in hand, voice shaking but strong. People kept saying, this is the speech of the year. This is history. In one night, he wasn't just a top actor anymore. He crossed into a different level where fame gets louder and the pressure gets heavier. Then came the shift. If the Oscars were pure glory, the BAFTAs hit like a cold reality check. That moment proved something serious. Hollywood can lift you up fast, but it can turn just as quick. Late February 2026, in London's Royal Festival Hall, a stage known for class and prestige, Michael walked out with Delroy Lindo to present. Everything looked smooth, until it wasn't. In front of millions, a tense moment unfolded, and Michael, now seen as the new Oscar king, faced a subtle but loaded remark that instantly lit up social media. There were no obvious insults, but the tone said everything. It was polished, elite shade, the kind that makes it sound like his success was luck, not skill. Michael stood there alone under that spotlight, looking out at the same faces that praised him days before, now dead silent. That's the real side of the industry. They cheer when you're hot, when you're making money, when you're trending. But the second your name gets tested, silence takes over. That moment sent a clear message. An Oscar doesn't mean you're truly accepted. The applause fades fast when things get uncomfortable, and that silence hits louder than any insult. But what really shocked people was Steve Harvey's reaction, or lack of one. Seen as a mentor, someone close to Michael, he said nothing at all. And that silence raised questions, especially after everything that went down between Michael and Lori Harvey. Because behind the scenes, it wasn't as clean as it looked. There was no loud drama, no public fallout, but the distance was real. A quiet tension sat in the background, strong enough to shift how everyone saw each other, and Steve Harvey was right in the middle of it. On one side, his daughter Lori, her image, her reputation, the brand he spent years building. On the other, Michael B. Jordan, a man he once respected and supported. Speaking up could have caused serious conflict, and in that world, business always comes before feelings. Steve knew stepping in during the BAFTA moment would be risky, and that situation taught Michael something deeper than any award ever could. At the top, real friends are rare, and most people are just temporary allies. That silence from Steve, mixed with the cold response around him, was a wake-up call. No matter how big you get, you have to protect yourself, because the system isn't built to save you, it's built to keep itself going. Sometimes that big win doesn't start a golden era. It quietly signals the beginning of the drop, especially for Black actors. That Oscar isn't just a trophy, it's a spotlight that never turns off. It proves your talent, sure, but it also locks you into impossible expectations. Once you win, every move gets judged against that one perfect moment, and suddenly, failure isn't allowed, and the pressure hits even harder here. The industry only leaves room for a few at the top, and once you're there, it starts looking for the next face instead of lifting you higher. Just look at Halle Berry and Cuba Gooding Jr., both Oscar winners who later got pushed into weaker roles and fading attention. In 2002, Halle Berry made history, but the aftermath told a different story. Instead of bigger opportunities, she faced typecasting and low-quality projects. Then came Catwoman. And just like that, the same industry that crowned her started doubting her place. Cuba Gooding Jr. lived that same story. Back in 1997, he lit up the Oscars with Show Me the Money, one of the most iconic moments ever. But while Tom Cruise kept climbing higher and higher, Cuba's path went the opposite way. He got pushed into low-budget action films, many barely seen, some going straight to DVD. Then the spotlight turned harsh. His personal life got pulled into the headlines, and the image of a celebrated star started to fade fast. And then there's Monique. Her story hits even harder. After winning for Precious in 2010, you'd expect her to rise, but instead, doors closed. Her so-called mistake. Choosing self-respect and refusing unpaid promotion so she could be with her family. That didn't sit well with powerful people, and suddenly she was pushed out. For years, her presence in the industry almost disappeared. Like her win came with hidden rules no one says out loud. Black actors deal with a tougher reality, fewer lead roles, less control, and way more pressure from every angle. And once that Oscar comes, the spotlight gets dangerous. You're not just an actor anymore. You're seen as representing something bigger, and even the smallest mistake gets blown up everywhere. That award works like a magnifying glass. If you can't handle the heat, it doesn't guide you. It burns you. Now rewind to one of the most shocking nights Hollywood has ever seen, the fall of Will Smith. March 27, 2022, at the Oscars in Los Angeles, was supposed to be his crowning moment after decades of work. From music to blockbuster films, he had everything except that one award. His role in King Richard meant something deeper, something personal. The room was ready for history until Chris Rock stepped out and made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. And just like that, everything changed. Watch that moment again. At first, Will Smith is laughing. Smooth, controlled, that perfect A-list image. But seconds later, everything shifts when he sees the look on Jada Pinkett Smith's face. Something snaps. Years of pressure, playing the flawless star, mixed with that instinct to protect his family, it all explodes at once. That slap wasn't just about Chris Rock. It hit the entire system. The rules, the image, the unspoken code of Hollywood's elite, all shaken in 1 second. And then came the twist. Less than 20 minutes later, his name gets called for Best Actor. The timing felt unreal. He walked up emotional, talking about love and protection, but the energy in the room had completely changed. He got the biggest award of his life while his reputation was collapsing in real time. Soon after, the consequences hit hard. Banned from the Oscars, major projects paused, deals falling apart. In one night, he went from untouchable star to a risk nobody wanted to take. The real tragedy of Will Smith isn't just the slap, it's when it happened. If that moment went down somewhere else, it might have been forgotten fast. But it hit at the exact second he reached the top. That massive spotlight didn't just celebrate him, it exposed everything he'd been holding in for years. The pressure, the image, the cracks, it all showed at once. That victory turned into the end of his golden era. And now, fast forward, Michael B. Jordan walks off that 2026 Oscar stage, statue in hand, the world screaming his name. But not everyone is just celebrating. Somewhere, Will Smith is watching, and that look isn't just pride, it's a warning, because he knows what comes next. That same peak can flip into a fall overnight. When Will nods at Michael, it's deeper than respect, it's recognition. Two men, same spotlight, same pressure, same image of perfection. And history has already shown how fast that moment can turn. But Will Smith understands something most people don't. That gold statue isn't protection, it's exposure. It magnifies everything. And if you can't handle that pressure, the same light that lifts you up can burn everything down just as fast. That's the warning. He's sending. Perfection isn't power, it's a trap. For decades, Will played the perfect image so well that people stopped seeing him as human. He became a symbol. And the moment that image cracked, even for a second, the system turned on him instantly. That's what he wants Michael to see clearly. Listen, brother, the moment you hold that statue, you are no longer just Michael. From that point on, every move gets watched, every word gets judged, every mistake gets amplified. The spotlight never leaves, and the truth is simple. People are waiting for that one slip. Just look at what happened. One moment changed everything. A career built over 30 years shaken in minutes. That's the cost of losing control at the very top. Hollywood might overlook failure, but it shows no mercy to anyone who disrupts its biggest stage. And right now, Michael B. Jordan is standing in that exact danger zone. Every move he makes after Sinners, every role, every deal, every statement will be picked apart piece by piece. That Oscar isn't just a title, it's pressure building up. Will Smith didn't fall because of one moment alone. He cracked under the weight of being perfect for too long. And that's the warning here. Michael can't just focus on success. He needs discipline, awareness, control. Because that award is more than recognition, it's a test. If ego or pressure takes over, the scoop can come fast. And when Michael mentioned Will, it wasn't random. It was calculated. A message that he's seen what happens, he understands the stakes, and he's not trying to repeat that same outcome. His 2026 Oscar win isn't just a victory, it's a statement, a mix of legacy and resistance. Michael B. Jordan isn't just rising, he's moving differently, learning from Will Smith's fall and turning it into strategy. He's building the image of a new kind of power player, talented, sharp, and calculated in a way that makes people pay attention. Because he knows something important. Awareness alone won't save you in this system. So he made a move Will never fully locked in. He built control. With Outlier Society, Michael isn't just acting anymore. He's calling shots, shaping deals, and owning the narrative. After the BAFTA moment and all that silence, he flipped the game. If support isn't there, you create your own power. That's how he's moving now, with real leverage. Because in this industry, if you're only the face, you can be replaced. But if you control the system, everything changes. If you're just an actor, you wait for opportunities. But if you own the production, you control everything. That's the shift Michael B. Jordan made. While names like Will Smith or Halle Berry had to rely on major studios, Michael locked in a massive deal with Amazon Studios worth hundreds of millions. That's not just business, that's power. Now he doesn't ask for roles, he creates them. He decides what gets made, who gets cast, and how the story is told. When you're the one funding projects, the so-called Oscar curse loses its grip because you're setting the rules. He also flipped the system with inclusion riders. Every Outlier Society project pushes for real diversity, building a strong circle instead of standing alone. So when pressure hits, like during the BAFTA moment, he's not exposed. He's backed by his own network, and he's not stopping there. From expanding the Creed universe to investing in sports and business, he's building something bigger than Hollywood, real independence that can't be shaken. Michael B. Jordan stands solid because he's not depending on just one lane. Even if Hollywood turns cold, he's got money flowing from different directions. That kind of power changes everything. It builds loyalty, it limits opposition, and it keeps him in control. After the 2026 Oscars and that tense BAFTA moment, people aren't looking at him the same anymore. He's not scared of the so-called curse. He's treating it like a system he already figured out. Will Smith showed him what happens when you become the industry's asset. And Michael flipped it. With Outlier Society, he's making Hollywood work with him, not over him. Because the truth is harsh. This industry loves to build icons, but it's even quicker to tear them down. The moment they lift you up, they start watching every move. And for black actors, that pressure hits even harder. Just look at Will, at the very top, and then suddenly everything shifted. Now Michael is stepping into that same spotlight, and while the applause is loud, the pressure behind it is even louder. When Will Smith watches Michael B. Jordan own that 2026 Oscar stage, it's not jealousy, it's something deeper. It's pain mixed with understanding. He sees a reflection of himself, a man at the top, but dangerously close to the edge. Will isn't speaking from theory. He's speaking from experience that still hurts. He knows what it feels like to lose everything in one moment, to spend decades building a perfect image only for it to collapse in seconds. That's why his message hits hard. Don't let perfection break you the way it broke me. Now the question hangs heavy. What happens next for Michael? Two paths, both intense. One where he stays sharp, uses Outlier Society as protection, and becomes a lasting force who rewrites the rules. Or the other path, where one mistake, one public moment flips everything upside down. Because once that crack shows, the system moves fast. And history has already shown how quickly the spotlight can turn into pressure that's impossible to escape. Just like Will Smith showed us, winning an Oscar is only the start. Holding your place after that, that's the real challenge. People think the gold statue means the story is finished, but it's actually where things get risky. The Oscar isn't the ending, it's the most dangerous chapter. Michael B. Jordan might be holding that trophy right now, but he's also holding serious pressure. So what happens next? Does he break the pattern or become the next name on that list? That's the question everyone's watching. What do you think? Does Michael have the focus to avoid the same path, or will the weight catch up to him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take on this. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share so we can keep exposing these hidden stories. And don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. You don't want to miss what's coming next.